Yo, what's up, Max? How you doing? Good morning. Good morning, Adam. Did you have a good weekend? I ended up going out for a birthday, so I was a little hungover yesterday. Um, it's the worst feeling in the world. Yo, good morning, barbecue. Is that Gavin? You got a new name there over there? Cool, cool. Yeah, man, I feel that. And Adam, how was your brother's uh, wedding? Looks like it looks like we're launching off the open potentially. I'm gonna see what we can get. If this VWAP might be a good launching point, I might consider going long. But we have all this gap right here that we could revisit. Um, but looks like we have some strength off the open. The only thing that I'm questioning right now is we got a CBD flip. Right, we went positive and came back negative immediately. So, would like to see this cumulative volume delta kind of hold positive if we're going to keep going. So that's the only thing I kind of got on my mind right now. Yeah, probably just catching up on sleep, man. Really amazing. You got up extremely early to bring them to the airport. They're off to Rome. Damn, dude, I'm a little jealous about that. Hey, Gavin, were you able to get a little bit of profit off of that trade you had last night? I saw that it basically hit those equal highs and then came back down right here, right? This horror music is killing me. Go run for a bit. Oh, nice, dude. That's the shit. Love it. Cool, man. That sounds good. I would definitely like to start running consistently. I do it sometimes, but not consistently enough. All right, looks like we could be coming back for a pullback right now. I don't know. I think right now I'm gonna try and gauge how weak this pullback could be, and I might try and hop on with a lower contract size. I'm gonna switch to M&Q here. It's amazing for your health and amazing for your brain. All right, I'm trying to long here. Hey, what's up, Annie50? Your naming convention sounds like you are a graphic artist. Looks like we're coming down for deeper prices on this pullback. Probably also a consideration here that it's Monday and we might expect a little more consolidation than normal days. If I start seeing some resistance up here, I might exit, probably on this candle or the next candle. We did have this retracement here happen right on the VWAP, so would like to see a push and hold above this VWAP. Really, my reason for getting in this trade was that we are reversing, this move we did overnight. Strong push at the open. We had support from buyers, and then we also had what looked to be a rejection of this big seller that came in. That's what it looked like at the time, but we kind of need to verify that with this candle here. We're also right here in this 5-minute fair value gap right here. So I'll go ahead and measure that. Looks like we're going to close over it, but we haven't yet. So I'd like to see a close over here. All of this gap down here, ideal scenario is that it's left open. That is an indication of strength. So I definitely like this staying open. I would prefer us to not come back and revisit that. All right, so we have some buyers coming in for support on this move. That's great. We do have the point of control and the value area high up here to potentially bounce from. We'll see. I like the strength of this move so far, though. You can see we're still not positive. Oh, yes, we are. Okay, so we bounced here, and then, okay, we're looking good on Delta. So, first target, point of control, or at least first target consideration, this 25,250-ish, and then 25,300. Probably this. I'll probably take half off around 25,250 if we can get there. Not loving the amount of time it's taking to launch from this point. And then I think 25,200, is a key level. We got buyers that are showing up here. So I'd ideally like to see buying remain aggressive above this area and keep price above it. Otherwise, I would fear that we're coming back down to one of these gaps. Down here, down here. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to move to the 15-minute. So, just wanted to check out this 15-minute gap. We also have probability on our side as the 15-minute gap that we just created, the 15-minute fair value gap that we just created. As long as that happens between 9:30 and 11:30, we actually have an above 80% chance that it will not be completely mitigated, meaning we will not retrace, even if it's a wick, the whole 15-minute fair value gap, which we got quite a bit of room there. But essentially what that indicates that is that if you start off the day within the first 2 hours, you create a 15-minute gap, the likeliness of retracing that move is very small, meaning that that 15-minute fair value gap tends to be a launch pad for the rest of the day. And that's based on data, I think, that goes back for this year is what I tested. All right, so we got a seller here. Let's see how price reacts. Kind of similar to this right here. When the seller showed up, it looks like we broke above the point of control. Now we kind of retested point of control here and got absorbed, and looking like we're pushing up to this value area high. All right, at least that's what I'm looking for, I should say. And I think I'm just looking at my footprint chart. And while we are kind of testing the downside a little bit with these sellers, it hasn't been a huge compared to the kind of push through that we're doing on the buy side. So a lot more aggressive buying than aggressive selling, which is a good thing. But if we haven't really tested the downside, we could be seeing a retracement soon. So I was talking about this point of control, wanting to stay above it and potentially taking some profit here. I'm gonna go ahead and pull half off of this one. Kind of bouncing around on it, and would prefer to kind of play it a little safer right now. So it took half of both of my positions here. So again, I'm kind of looking for evidence that we might be coming down to retrace, retest, potentially this VWAP. Because we haven't had a hard retest down here. Obviously, it doesn't have to happen, but I think because we haven't, it leaves the opportunity open for sellers to kind of really push it, since we haven't really had a proper pullback yet. Let's see. Obviously, ideal scenario is that, you know, these kind of pushes where we're seeing price retract a little bit are the tests, and there are just too many aggressive buyers to keep price high. That's the ideal scenario. the those times, I think it was 2 weeks ago when we did something kind of similar to this, where we launch off the open. We had two. It was more like 1.5 extensions, and then we started consolidating. And then after that consolidation, we come back down. So I want to, just have that in the back of my head too. I don't want to play into it too much because every day is different. But I do keep that in the back of my mind because I know that that kind of price action it got me. It got me those 2 days where I was in late and we would start to consolidate. And my idea for that day was, okay, well, I'm thinking this is going to go long and then we're going to go short. And so I would kind of get early on the move, and I would start shorting too early, and then we would have maybe an hour's worth of consolidation, maybe 45 minutes worth of consolidation, and then we would drop. So I just want to have that scenario as an option for today, so I don't get faked out in thinking that this could, continue to move beyond here without proper evidence. So, in that example a few weeks ago, I could probably pull it up and find it. We do about this move. It moves up a full leg. We do a quick pullback. We move up about half a leg, and then we start consolidating here. And then we consolidate, and then we dump, and we move beyond this low. So I don't want to try and predict that that's going to happen, or but I want it to be on the board for me. So we are getting this reaction right at this point of control. So taking profit here for me was, I think, a good move. I might even on this position pull off another. Now I just got one running. In case we do start consolidating, I just want to make sure I'm pulling profit off in case we start getting weak. I can always re-enter long if I want to. This could just be a standard pullback here too. But where, if it is just pulling back, where would be a good place for this to pull back to? Obviously this area here, VWAP, and then just under this candle. If we're still moving up, that's what I would say. And then we grade the strength of the potential move to come based on how hard this pullback is and how supported the move continues to be. If this pulls all the way back here and we're starting to see momentum die, I probably won't want to enter long again. If this is as deep as this pullback gets and we don't continue to sell, this would be a good area for it to pull back to and continue going. I'm going to kind of turn my attention to the footprint chart. Now, I just want to see if I can get a gauge on, right now it looks loosey-goosey. That's my take on it right now. It looks a little loosey-goosey. The highs up here look a little loosey-goosey, so I'm not loving what I'm seeing right now. When I say loosey-goosey, really what I mean is I'm not seeing, I'm seeing strong buyers kind of spread out up on the top end, not consolidated, and not super strong either. On the low side, I'm not seeing support yet, not seeing any passive buyers yet. Took long on gold, 40.75, targeting 90. Nice, man. Let me pull that up. See what you got. 40.75 and targeting 40.90. Cool, man. Looks, you know, like kind of middle to outer range scalp here. We're right on VWAP here. We got standard deviations on either side, so yeah, I can see that. Kind of, for your trade here, hoping you can get over this 40.80 because it looks, potentially like it could be rejecting from this fair value gap and um, VWAP or fair value gap and yeah, VWAP. That's right. Still feeling a little iffy about this. We do have a little bit of aggressive buying happening at the top end of this candle here, but again, it's kind of scattered, um, and we weren't, obviously able to push higher than this potentially rebalancing area. So, not feeling great about this just yet. Coming back down, looks like to retest this VWAP. Let's see how we respond. We got a seller that's coming in. Is price going to be accepted or rejected off of this price? And then are we going down to here too? And if we don't reject quickly, I think right around here, I think I'm not interested in holding this anymore. To me, it's looking like we could see some lower prices. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of that one. Got out of both of my positions, so I think I'm gonna stay flat here for a second. Again, in the back of my mind, I have that scenario where we could be potentially consolidating and then coming back down. So I don't know that that's going to happen, but I'm considering that as a possibility. I'm just going to stay flat here for a second and watch price action, see if something jumps out to me. But right now, after we make this move up and then we're on this second leg, the delta footprint chart is looking kind of scattered, a little bit lackluster, lacking strength and lacking directional intention is what it looks like to me on the delta footprint chart. So maybe we can start to see some clarity on the footprint chart, and that would help me make a decision as to whether I want to get back in or not. For now, I'm going to chill. And so just kind of replaying what has happened in these kind of scenarios, to me at least, in the past, is I'll see this look weak like it is now. And I would try and short it, thinking this is when it's going to go short. Then we would get, and the only reason I'm bringing this up is because I studied this price action, and it happened, 3 times or so to me very recently. So I wanted to analyze it and be prepared for it if it happens again. So I would be, it's like if I was looking for this move up off the open and then a move short, I would be in short now, and then it would bounce up and we would consolidate. And then eventually what it did was just kind of it would start to look weaker and weaker. And it would just roll over. And then I would miss the move because I would get stopped out short, like right here. Like I'd be in short, it would come back up. And then what I did twice was I would try and take this breakout long. This is looking a little weaker than the other moves did. The other moves moved. I mean, I guess this isn't. That's about a 200-point move, so maybe that's par for the course. But then I would try and take it long. I would get faked out, so I get double faked out here, and then the move would actually happen, and I'm left, you know, sitting there holding the bag like an idiot. So anyway, that's a scenario that I've played, that I've, that it's happened to me a few times, and it was significant enough for me to study it. We're back under VWAP now at the bottom of the value area. So, we inverted this. I would say we're certainly not looking as strong as we were. This is more looking like a potential reversal or a consolidation, unless we see some strength push up in the next candle or two. That's how I'd be looking at it, is like if this candle or the next candle can start pushing up, okay, we can potentially start resuming this move to the long side. But if we continue to kind of see lackluster volume here, it tells me that the bulls are not interested in taking price higher potentially, and we could just be moving back and forth. Notice what we did on cumulative volume delta here as well. We flipped back negative. So we were positive, we were holding, we kind of consolidated right here, and then we flipped back negative after being negative. I guess interestingly enough, we were positive for most of the session, then seven hits, we go negative, then we do this move off the open, and now we're back negative. So just a little bit of context there. We're showing some negative order flow. This move up, off the open might have been the most exciting move we get for a minute. It's Monday, too. I'm going to check on that trade you got going on over there, gold. Looks like it's coming down, unfortunately. It basically just completely bypassed that gap that you created off the open. Check out old ES. Looks like we might be coming down on these higher time frames. These look extremely bearish. Essentially we got windshield wipers forming on the higher time frame, coming down, weak pullback, and then continuation to the downside. So looks like you move off the open. We don't know just yet, but could have just been a manipulation to the long side. I'm trying to figure out, okay, if we do start going short, which it happened pretty quickly, wasn't consolidation. We just kind of got weak up here at the midpoint of this second leg up, right? Um, so if we do start going short here on ES, could be a potential target. This low down here seems to be a pretty strong low. We took out both these lows, created a new low down here on NQ. ES did not. So we might I think either way, this low right here will be important, but we might be looking up here at one of these gaps as well. Looks like we're bouncing. Let me check out the footprint chart and see what happened at that bounce, if it was significant. You know, didn't see anything crazy significant. This could be the bounce. We could be going back up to point of control or value area high. I didn't see anything like we had crazy support down here. I think buyers just kind of started stepping in. We are under VWAP now. I'm not loving anything, so I am flat. Maxed her out. Good. See, it's unfortunately we just kind of had volume die out pretty quickly. we've got these two kind of big moves that happen, and then in between, volume just kind of dies out. All right, legs are already sore, out of breath. Just looked at the charts. You think we're going for low a day, and you're gonna grab a shower. Okay, cool. Sounds good, man. Yeah, we're. I'm just kind of waiting and seeing right now. We're looking weak, or at least kind of lethargic. I can tell by the way everything's moving right now that there's definitely an elevated chance of this being dangerous for me, at least the way price is moving. The way price was moving before, this was all good. This down move is all good. Since we've started moving around here, I can just see the way price will jump up and down. That probably not the greatest environment for me to be placing a trade just yet. So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna go ahead and mark out these highs and lows as well. So we got a high here, we got a low here. If we're moving back and forth in this range, probably just want to stay away. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Probably it's almost like I don't even want to look at price until we break above or break below. I will, but if I was stepping away or something, I could have an alert down here, alert right here, and probably feel good about stepping away. Hey, Gavin, if you're there right now, because the market is kind of moving a little slowly, if you want to take a look at your footprint chart or whatever else you wanted to set up, now might be a good time for it. We got a rejection up top with this buy order, and we might have some follow through with this sell order. So I'm watching that. Looks like we're breaking the low of this little range that I outlined. We could be making a move short quicker than I anticipated. Let's see. Coming back up. I'm gonna check out Delta or the footprint and see what that bottom looked like. A little bit bottom heavy, but nothing crazy. A little bit top heavy here. Yeah, certainly more top heavy than bottom heavy. So we got our coming up in 8 minutes. We'll have our initial balance range established, and we can look for initial balance breakout trades from there. Looking like this low will still be intact, and that high will be intact as well. So so the other thing I want to do is I want to get some levels from Friday. So here what I'm doing is I'm looking at the delta volume profile and trying to get a narrative based on where price went, where it is now, and what kind of order flow we had take place. So what I'm kind of reading here is we had the point of control up here. We had strong buying, we had absorption up top, then we had aggressive selling kick in here. And now what I'm looking for is just to find some zones we could potentially reliably see as support or resistance or aggressive areas we could come through. You know, right here, like we see a lot of strong orders that have kind of gone through this area. Now I want to pull that to the right and see. So we've got a lot of selling that happened in this area. So we might just anticipate before when we were selling here, we were moving to the upside. We sold and we had passive buyers here. So this is going to be an important level here because this was kind of the first point where we launched up on Friday and then held support. So this will be a key level here if we do get down there. And then these levels that I had pointed out here, we had strong buying happen here and aggressive selling happen here. So we might be seeing that same thing happen here, where this is a level, essentially this combined with this provides a rejection level where we could push price lower. And it looks like we're kind of starting to see that potentially form right here. See, so on Friday, this top line right here was where buyers got absorbed, and then we started seeing aggressive selling happening below that. So let me go ahead and mark this out. So this would be buyers absorbed up here, and then down here we're seeing aggressive selling. So this is just kind of a general, like when I'm marking this out, what I'm doing is trying to figure out, okay, in the past, this is what happens at these levels. Buyers got absorbed right here. Aggressive selling started down here. Now we can look for these areas to either show confluence or divergence from what previously happened in the past. And right now, what the narrative is we launch off the open, we start getting weak, we're consolidating in this area. Are we going to see that these levels still have the same participants in the market that could create a reaction here that we can capitalize on? And right now, the narrative seems to be fitting with this. But let's see, if we break out of this consolidation up here or if we get rejected again, right here, you can see that we have buyers stepping in here again, right around this area where historically buyers have had a lot of absorption. So could be playing out again, but I like to have these levels if they're not just kind of, if for nothing else, just to help me have some levels in addition to what's forming this morning to be watching, even if it's within the same range that we're trading in from Friday, because we can start to build some good areas that have previously proved to have active participants in the market. So right now we're still consolidating in this range. We have the initial balance formed. So I have right here. Initial balance high, initial balance low. So pretty wide range on this so far. And if we do get to this high or low, um, we're pretty, we've made a pretty big move off of here. So it might be a minute before we actually tap these highs or lows. But right now, that would be, the high or the low would be a potential area I would be looking to trade. Breaking outside of this consolidation might be enough to kick in some volume and give me a good trade to frame, but I'm not sure yet. Right now, this consolidation within this range is not what I don't want to trade within this consolidation. So I'm going to try and be patient here. I've got these potential levels that are creating a narrative that if we end up breaking through this high where these buyers were previously absorbed, it could cause a nice reaction. And then, if we continue with this narrative and aggressive sellers remain here and continue to push price down below this consolidation, that could provide a good short. Right now, looking a little lackluster. Okay, nice, man. That's the shit. You got a run in. Feeling nice and productive on a Monday. I love that, dude. I still got my residual hangover going from Saturday. So I'd like to get a nice workout in later today. But this morning would have been impossible. Did have a little bit of scattered absorption here on the top end of this candle. And if you're in the mood for scalping this range, it looks like it's provided some decent opportunities to do that. Because we got 160, about 100-point range here. I would probably only be keen on taking short scalps within this range if I was actually scalping right now. Looks like we had another delta flip here happen. So it went positive, came back negative immediately after bouncing here. Yo, what's up, T-Drop? How you doing this morning? I'm gonna clean up some of this real quick. Let's see how this candle continues to form. Price action still looking a little shaky, a little jittery. But after this rejection up here, delta flipping negative, looking like maybe we could be breaking out of the consolidation range here soon to the downside. Yeah, looks bearish to me too. Especially if you pull up these. So look at the higher time frames here. Here's the daily. Drop down, pull back, continuation. Same thing on the weekly here. Drop down, pull back, continuation. We got like windshield wipers going to the downside. On the daily, we swept this previous high, and now it looks like we're going for a continuation to the downside. For sure, man. You're in a long here. Okay, copy that, man. I was thinking we're looking a little weak, but hopefully you get a nice bounce out of here. Hope you get something. Where are you targeting? I'm wondering if this candle or the next candle is going to push us outside of this range here. And T-Drop, just to give you my, I know you just hopped in, but you know what I've kind of been looking at in price action is this move up, consolidation, and then we have some levels here that are indicating we could be pushing lower. I don't know, but I was in long off the open, and then I closed it as it came back down to start consolidating. And I was kind of referring back to a few times to over the past couple weeks where we've kind of done this move off the open. We have one leg up. We do a small pullback. We have a half a leg up again. We get rejected, and then we consolidate and move down. So anyway, just that was my take on it when I was looking at this, is that we pushed up, started getting weak, consolidate, and then based on the levels from Friday and kind of what we're doing here, looks like we might be at risk for going lower. Don't let that, impact your trade. But that's kind of what I was looking at. for me, the way price is moving, I'm not ready to hop back in yet. So I'm gonna wait till we get out of this range. Dude, I bet there's nothing better than coming back to your home after you've been out for obligations for a while. Even when I'm back from vacation, I love coming back home and just having my own shit, my own shower. It's the best, especially my own bed. Oh gosh, had to log on your phone with 5G Wi-Fi. Ah, that sucks, man. Definitely not ideal trading conditions. Um, man, I went out this weekend and I don't know why my buddy always insists on trying to introduce fuckwads to me, but he does on a regular basis. So he's the general manager at this venue that we went to. It's the rooftop pool. I did some consulting with them, but in any case, he introduced this young guy to me that was like he was wasted, and he was a military guy, and I actually pretty much always get along with military guys. And I can kind of tell right off the bat. I'm like, okay, this guy sounds like he's really disciplined. He cares about the right things. Usually very polite. I would say a lot of military guys end up being sort of polite right off the bat when you meet them. Good first impressions. This guy was a complete opposite. He was sloppy. He was drunk, and he kept telling me basically like talking shit about like my buddy and his staff, and which is not cool. And then he was talking about business and how superior he was in business as a 22-year-old that just got out of the military, and basically all civilians are idiots is what he was saying. And he asked me if I was in the military like 5 times, and I was like, no, I'm not in the military. Never been in the military. And so the conversation started getting really annoying because he basically was just talking himself up and how everybody else sucks. And he started getting like real close and kind of like physical, like, people that like touch your shoulders and touch you and shit. And that in itself is okay. But when you get aggressive conversation in that, is really annoying. And I was like, hey, stop touching me. Like, you're being really annoying. Stop touching me. And eventually, like, he punched me in the chest. And it wasn't like a super hard punch, but I don't know what he was doing. He was trying to maybe push my buttons or something. And so he did that once, and I was like, dude, I was like, you're being extremely annoying right now. I was like, I'm happy to chat with you, but don't do that again. And he did it again, and I slapped him in the face like really hard. Um, everybody, like, my buddy saw it. Everybody saw it, and it was like it didn't escalate from there. My buddy was like, he was like, hey, you guys need to go outside right now. And I was like, I'm happy to go outside, not to fight him, but like to like just talk, because like I slapped him in the face. He wanted me to hit him, and I was like, I'm not gonna hit you, but I'll go out here and talk to you. Otherwise, I'm just gonna get away from you or whatever. So I went outside, talked to him, and I was like, hey man, I told you don't do that. You don't know me, so don't put your hands on me, or I'm gonna slap you in the face and make you look like an idiot. And anyway, it kind of de-escalated from there. I ended up having to go get my girlfriend from downstairs, and then when I came back, my buddy had just kicked him out. But it's like, I feel like every time I go out now, there's just like stupider and stupider people that I have to interact with, and it's like that's not what I want to do. I want to hang out with my friends, have a good time, have some drinks, and that's it. But like every time lately I've been going out, like I'm just like surrounded by these dickheads that like are extremely wasted and I guess have something to prove or something like that. And it's like I get it that there's a point when you should kind of like just walk away from people like that. And that was kind of one of my takeaways from the night. But then I have this conflicting view that, like, if you're probably, especially if you're a man, because girls don't encounter these issues as much as we do. But if you're a man, you know, sometimes there are few opportunities that you have to teach somebody a lesson. Not that you need to do it for yourself, but for the sake of humanity. Like, a guy like that needs to know that he can't like punch people in the chest for fun. And every once in a while, if you do that to somebody, you're gonna get you're gonna get bitch slapped in the face and made to look like a fool. I also realize that it can be dumb to do that because who knows if somebody's got a gun or whatever. So there's that, but there's also like, if somebody's a shithead, you can walk away, and that's the safe thing to do, or you can call them out for being a shithead. I tend to call people out for being a shithead, which sometimes cannot be safe. But I thought I would share that with you guys. Halloween was a shit show. Going out the other night was a shit show. I mean, just wasn't a shit show. It was just that one guy. Everybody else was cool. But every once in a while you run into, like a little shithead that kind of deserves to get slapped in the face. And I do believe that there is a sort of responsibility that we have as capable people to not allow fuck shits to do stuff like that, We are still moving back and forth in this consolidation range. So, honestly, I think until we move outside of this range, I'm chilling. There you go, T-Drop. Love to have the support. Bottom line is, we got a responsibility to humanity to do what we can to shitheads. This could have been a decent scalp if you took this short right here. We got 50 points on it, 60 points on it. You got out of the order early at 160 profit because your Wi-Fi is very bad, and I don't know, you can close it late. Yeah. Okay, well, nice, man. You got some profit out of that. That's great. Yeah, I think we got. Well, we're in this consolidation. Obviously, at some point, we're going to have to get out of this consolidation. And when we do, hopefully we can get a read on it so we can see if we got some momentum going one direction or the other. And maybe we can capitalize on it. But until then, this back and forth is, not ideal, especially for breakout trading. Now, if you're range scalping, yes. But one of the biggest ways to chop yourself up is to be in for a breakout trade in this consolidation before it's ready to break out. And you can see if you're down to take a range trade, let's say you skip this, but you hit this VWAP, You can catch one nice here. You could catch a second one if you're shorting up here for 50 points, 60 points. But yeah, for these kind of range scalps, you gotta. I mean, I typically can identify these ranges pretty quickly. You just when you see this kind of move and it taps VWAP, you got to be ready to take it. You got to be ready because you might not get a bunch of good opportunities where it hits a really good level like that. VWAP, for instance, you might not get a lot of them before we break out of this consolidation. We've had what, 3 here? Really, this should count as 1 because we come up, tap it, open the next candle, tap it. So really, this should count as 1, and this should count as 1. I do like range scalping. I'll be right back. I'm going to run to the restroom real quick. Oh, coming back and still in the same range, but these three candles looking a little weak. Probably, we should be expecting this. It's Monday. You got another long on this move, and you hit TP. Where'd you go long? Did you have just like a really quick take, like 20-point take profit or something? Did you go long on like right here? Okay. Starting to see some potential stair stepping down. Copy that, man. Well, get it where you can get it. I'm looking at these three candles, thinking we're looking pretty weak. Over here on Delta, you see this right here, point of control. On these, right in this area, we got a cluster of buys and we got some sells. This could be a potential pivot point for us to start moving down. Yeah, yeah. This definitely looks like the area to get short. But the problem is you have this big launch move off the open, and you don't know if we're consolidating up here or if we're gonna keep going up. I mean, I was recalling the other times where you go long, in the past couple weeks when something similar like this has happened, and it's usually takes or at least in those times took a while before this move short happens. We consolidated up here for a long time. I think I'm. Whoa. That's not what I wanted. Right here at this 25077 was looking like it was going to hold price lower, but looking like we're bouncing right now, unfortunately, on this. See if we get a revisit down here. Nah. Let's get another one. See if we can try right here. Thanks, D-Drop. I'll check you later, man. All right, let's see if we can close under this gap and keep going short. So what's going on here? Bouncing right back up to this 2550 level. Like to see it hold below here. We're kind of flirting with that level right now. Looks like we might pop back into this range, which would be really annoying. Yeah. Might be a chance here to add. I'm going to do it. Might want to close everything. Not liking how it's reacting right here. I can re-enter if I want. I'm gonna chill for a second. If this starts bouncing, I don't want to be in that. We're still looking weak, like we're going for these lows. I just didn't like the lack of immediacy. Just sold one. Your position up 40%, made $20. Fuck yeah, bro. Small steps. Let's fucking do it. Yo, Gavin, that's good, man. Do you have a? You're sticking to $300 a day. Do you have a limit on your max loss as well? Cool, man. Give that a shot, dude. I think that's a good idea. Stay small, dude. That's one of the things I really think can help your trading and just new traders in general, just not having that insatiable appetite for large trades because it turns into a really negative cycle. Well, I'm glad that uh, I'm glad you caught that from practicing like that because that's kind of what it's kind of what I've been trying to get you to realize. You just need to be consistent. Once you can get $150 a day, $200 a day, all you have to do is scale it. Do it, man. Yeah, you weren't in here earlier, I guess, because I said it was a probably good time when the market wasn't moving to help you with that. All good. Okay, cool, man. Sounds good, brother. Oh, all good, man. Yeah, sounds good. We might just have to take care of your order flow tomorrow on stream too. I don't know. We'll see how the day goes. All right, looks like we're making a run now. All right. Yeah, we got to move down. We broke these lows. Now we're kind of, I don't know what we're doing right now. If this was a break just to come back into the range or if we're going to continue. Looking like we potentially have a ceiling here at 24,974. Hopefully we get a quick flush down. Probably going to wait for a pullback here. I did like that level though that we rejected off at 24,974. Looked to be a pretty good level. So if we get back up to there, I might consider another short. Tapping that level again. I'm going to try one more short here. Hopefully we're not bouncing to go take this level, to go take this 74 level now. Might be breaking through and bouncing a little bit. Hmm. Yeah. This is a little shaky. It looks a little risky. Uh, Might have to scale out of this. Let's see. That sucks. That was a big one. Yeah, it looks like it wants to fall now. That was a big one. That sucked. I'm watching this area. Potentially just take some profit here. Maybe wait for a retest up here. I think it retested this value area low. I'm going to try another short up here. Damn. Let's hope that was the extension for this trade. Come on down. Might have to stop out if we go much higher than this. Looking a little volatile. Getting a little top heavy here at 25.60. Ah, man. All right. Well, I'm taking some big losses, so I'm kind of ruining my P&L that I had built up. I'm going to switch accounts here. Yeah, I know. Pretty fucking random. We did sweep this low. I just, I was anticipating we were going to come back up here and start moving lower. Instead of this, just boom. So I don't know. I mean, maybe we have a reversal. Man, okay. Well, I mean, it's continuing to move up. We do have 25.74, which was the previous kind of high we had. It looks like we have passive sellers there at 74, but we're kind of pushing above it, so it's getting a little scary. Golly. Taking some big losses. Looking like this was just kind of a V-shaped reversal here, and maybe we're going to continue moving up. At least that's how it looks. I got some buyers stepping in right here. I don't know if I'm trying to go long on this or what, but my shorts obviously have not been working out. It might just keep going up. I don't know. We're back in this value area, and it looked like a kind of out of nowhere rejection down here. We're still negative, but barely. We might be retapping this VWAP. Price action is a little wonky right now. I mean, the fact that it swept these lows and came back into the range maybe shouldn't be that big of a surprise. I just was anticipating getting a pullback and then continuation lower. That didn't work, so I'm just gonna watch here, see if I can see anything happen up here at VWAP. Man, it's probably going to slow down now. A lot of times that's how it works. You get like a big move that can really do some damage on you, take some losses, and then it slows down so you don't get an opportunity to make it back up. Essentially, I was in the wrong direction at the exact wrong time, and now it's going to slow down, so I won't have an opportunity to recover. I just have to take it slow, unfortunately. Looks like we could come back down here to this gap. I might give it a shot. I was seeing a little ceiling up here at 25,100. But we could just be coming back down to retest this, and we might be bouncing around in here for a minute. Yeah, it looks like it's gonna fake out and keep going long. Maybe I gotta wait. I might have to wait for this VWAP. Mondays, man. Mondays get me. Unfortunately. I think I'm going to be able to take this short up here, at least for a pullback. Starting to see some passive sellers in here. Not enough, but they're showing up. Maybe one more push up, like 25, 130-ish. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and enter short. Might anticipate that last push up here to 130, and of course, could just start ripping. You know, if we break above these highs, we're likely to start ripping. 123. 123 is looking decent for our ceiling here. Let's see. We're just ripping through these sellers right now. It's looking like we're squeezing, unfortunately. At least that's what it looks like on this footprint chart. Yeah, I probably gotta cut my losses today. Ooh, took some big ones. And I was up pretty good too. I basically just completely reversed my green P&L to red P&L. Yeah, not a good way to start the week. But like what I'm seeing right now is like I'm probably not going to be able to catch this short, and I wasn't planning on taking this long, and we might start ripping. So it's probably going to do more damage than good. So I'll probably just have to take my L today, and see if I can recover tomorrow. Only positive note I have is being 190 up in this funded account, and then I'm up 800 on my futures desk account, but doesn't balance out these big losses here, unfortunately. But that's all right. Yeah, well, I'll probably be just monitoring loosely for today, and if I see anything that tickles my fancy more than what's going on right now, then maybe I can retry. But today's looking like I'm just going to continue to take big losses if I'm trying to make up for this. So it's probably just better just to reset for tomorrow, to be honest. Are you still doing some trading, Adam? Or yeah, you got your account and stuff, so you have the ability to take trades, right? You're done for the day? Copy that, man. Yeah, dude, this is just a bummer here. Probably should have just been a little bit more weary about this continuation move, considering it's Monday, and Mondays tend to trick me out, especially around like this time after we make the initial move, consolidation, another move. That's usually where I can get faked out too, but. I'm not crying about it. Yeah, copy that, dude. I might be down to play some games later if you are. Probably gonna grab something to eat, and I have a couple errands I probably need to run, but probably down a little bit later if you are. Okay, cool. Sounds good, buddy. Well, I'm gonna take my L and not do any more damage. Not crying about it. I had a good week last week. I just need to make sure I don't, wipe away my profits from last week this week. And unfortunately, it's one of those weeks where I got a lot of making up to do from Monday, but it's kind of like to be expected every week for me. Unfortunately, it's like my Mondays create more work for me for the rest of the week, but that's okay. Yeah, let's fucking get it, dude. I'm not worried about it. Let's stick to the plan. Trade well. Yeah, man. I thought about doing half size. I'll tell you what happened. Um, I was doing great until I flipped to the NQ chart and accidentally started entering on NQ, and then I stuck with it because it kind of tilted me a little bit. Because I took a big loss entering on NQ, and I should have just closed it immediately, but it moved so fast against me, and I was like, shit. So anyway, then I continued to enter on NQ, and it bit me in the ass. So yes, I was planning on trading 2 MNQ contracts for, basically the day after I got my, not, but multiples of 2, so probably up to 6 micro contracts. But then once that started happening, it just, it went up and went down very quickly. So should definitely should definitely have just switched after that first fuck up. Yeah, I think half size on Mondays is a good rule. Anyway, I'm gonna log off, buddy, and then I'll hit you up whenever I'm done eating and running my errands. Sounds good, brother. Yeah, and my takeaway, the trader portion of it is that a lot of times if I accidentally enter on NQ, and the reason I just switch it to NQ is because NQ is the real order flow that I want to see. MNQ is a derivative of NQ, right? So I'll switch to it. I want to check on it, and then every once in a while I enter on it, and it's too large. I mean, sometimes it's okay to enter on it, but not if you're trying to get back, you know? So yeah, the issue that I had is a lot of times when I enter accidentally, I'll just close it immediately. This time it went so fast that I was like, man, I want it to come back. And that was right there the mistake that I made, that I wanted to come back so that I can break even on it. And it just moved so fast that I couldn't. And then my other opportunity was don't stick to NQ, switch to MNQ and that take that big loss, and it's okay, move on and trade how you normally would. But I don't know, I got aggressive. But anyway, I'll chat with you in a little bit, brother. I'm going to grab something to eat, run some errands. But yeah, I'll hit you up when I'm ready to kill some people. All right, man. Everybody else, peace out. Sorry you had to witness that, but it's a Monday and that shit happens. So hopefully we'll do a lot better tomorrow. I'll check you tomorrow. Peace out.